Hello and good morning. My name is Jules Dunham Howie.
And I'm Damian Campbell.
And we want to welcome you to
Top of the Morning.
Today we're excited because Lenora Dawson is our guest. Welcome, Lenora, to the Constellation. How do you like this wonderful ship?
Thank you. Actually, when I came in, I got a little nostalgic because as a little girl, I remember touring the Constellation. The only difference is now I have to duck, but I can go deck.
Well, I'm excited that you're able to bring back those wonderful memories.
Yes.
You know, it's a phenomenal resource right here in the Inner Harbor that I believe is underutilized. So we're excited to be here today.
Yeah, I think it's great for the kids to come and tour because there's so much history here on the boat and just in Baltimore in general. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's important that we know our history and preserve our history. And I'm really excited that they have maintained this ship after all of these years.
And I understand that you're going to get a tour of the ship.
Yes, and I'm really excited about the tour.
So, Lenora, I understand that you are running for a political office this season.
Yes.
And so that is awesome because they love to have dignitaries come and be able to tour the ship and get a better understanding so that when they assume office, they can help represent what the Constellation is all about.
Right.
So tell us about it.
Well, I am actually running for Clerk of the Circuit Court, Baltimore City. It is a citywide race. I'm very excited about the run and looking forward to coming in and doing amazing things administratively. And
the cannon just went off on the ship. This is real live TV people. The cannon went off behind us. We just heard it. So don't be scared. It's okay.
And that cannon fire was just validation that I'm going to win this race.
There we go. I agree with you. I agree. We're celebrating early. So now tell us though a little bit about why you feel you're qualified for this particular position.
Sure. I am a native Baltimorean. I hold a master's degree from University of Baltimore. I've been a senior administrator for 10 years. I am actually in Baltimore City Circuit Court. Although I don't work for the clerk's office, I am a strong administrator. I have a vision for the office. I believe in supporting employees, training them, providing great customer services to the citizens of Baltimore City. And I think that that's one thing that's missing. You know, it's a very archaic system. I am looking forward to bringing a 21st century modern perspective to the Baltimore City Clerk's office and also delivering great services to the citizens of Baltimore City. So as public servants, I am very clear that we work for you. We work for the citizens of Baltimore City.
Well, you know, Lenora, this should be right up Dee's alley because Dee actually works for the courts.
Absolutely. I work for the Office of the Public Defender for the state of Maryland. And I appreciate what you're bringing to the city and as a clerk.
Well, thank you. I look forward to making life easier for you guys in terms of navigating the court system.
Well, and we look forward to the opportunity for there to be automation.
Yes.
I was actually surprised when you shared with me that a lot of things are still done manually.
Yes.
Now, what year are we in?
This is actually 2018. The system is extremely archaic.
Yeah.
You can't pay by debit or credit cards, getting simple business licensings, you can't get the paperwork online.
Wow.
And we are actually still processing, or the clerk's office is actually still processing thousands and thousands of pieces of paper every day. But fortunately, the state of Maryland is rolling out MDEC, which is electronic filing system. Baltimore City is the last on the list. We push more paper than any other clerk's office in the state. So the good thing about being last on the list is hopefully all of the kinks will be worked out before we implement it in Baltimore. So I've already taken training. I plan to have the staff trained well in advance so that when we transition over, it'll be an easier transition. And also to offer training to any paralegals or any citizen or anyone who wants to start e-filing. And even the public defender's office will offer training to them so they can come in the process of just be a lot easier to transition. But I'm excited about the transition into electronic filing systems.
Absolutely. So what's the timetable on that?
I am not sure. We don't have a date. They've implemented it in about 18 counties across the state already. So we don't have a timetable as to when it's going to come to Baltimore. That's a decision that the state makes. The clerk does not decide when MDEC is coming.
Okay. All right, well, we are going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more Top of the Morning.
And cut. All right, we got the first part. That was a drag. Well, he's never done it before.
All right, welcome back to Top of the Morning Show. Damien Campbell here again with my co-host Jules Dunham-Howie and Lenora Dawson. We wanted to go into some of the challenges that you may see in the city now and what you would probably bring if you were in office.
When I'm elected
When
to
you're
clerk.
elected. When you're elected.
We always speak in the affirmative.
Yes.
Well, Baltimore City has a lot of systemic issues. And I will tell you a quick story as to why I decided to run for the office of clerk of court. I remember one day being in my office and a clerk comes in, and the clerk is actually in a panic because they're looking for a warrant that the judge quashed. It was a young man who went before the judge quashed the warrant. Well, what happened is the clerk failed to return the warrant to the sheriff's office to have it removed from the system. Because without the judge's signature and it being true tested, it cannot legally be removed from the system. So 6 months later, this kid comes home from college, he's going about his business, get pulled over on a traffic stop, and get locked up on a warrant that should not have been in the system, and spent 3 days in jail and lost his job. So for me, I think that was a very avoidable mistake. It was very unconscionable. The clerk had two options. He or she, actually in this situation, could have given the order directly to Department of Corrections transport team or sent it down to the Department of Corrections. But because she failed to do her job, someone's life was impacted. And this is just one of many stories as to how an inefficient and ineffective clerk's office caused a ripple effect in the community and across the city of Baltimore, and people's lives are affected every single day. And I believe that government has a responsibility to the citizens of Baltimore City to be effective, to be efficient, to deliver great customer service, and be aware that you not doing your job can affect someone's lives. You not doing your job can affect someone's life. So we need to do better. And I've decided to run to do better because Baltimore deserves better.
And you know, it's amazing because you really can't imagine that one piece of paper not being properly filed can lead to someone having such a catastrophic life event.
Absolutely.
Because that really is what that is.
It is.
You know, you going about your business and then all of a sudden you're in jail. And now you have to deal with all of the trauma and all of the stuff that comes with having that experience.
Absolutely.
I wonder how do we address that in terms of, did you all apologize? Did you help them get another job? Did you right the wrong? Because that was just a wrong.
Yes. Well, I don't know how that can be fixed, but I do understand that moving forward, there has to be accountability.
Yes.
And when we don't have accountability, people are reluctant to change their behavior. So as a woman of integrity, I believe in transparency and I believe in accountability. I demand accountability because I want the citizens to hold me accountable.
Right.
And I will hold the employees accountable. Now, I am the type of leader, I will give you all of the training you need. I believe in creating an environment where people want to come to work.
We'll be back shortly.
Hi, welcome to the USS Constellation. I'm Libby Jones. I'm our educator here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving me the tour. I'm excited.
So, this is the captain's cabin. This is not someplace most people would be in this ship's heyday. This is where the captain, and if there was an admiral aboard, would be. This is his office. This is his bedroom. He has 2 heads, so 2 bathrooms. Otherwise, this is his space. Not even the officers came in here very much.
Okay. Wow.
This is the gun deck. So on this deck here, we've got 20 guns. They're onboard ships. They're guns, not cannons. We've got 20.
Oh, they're guns,
Yep.
not cannons.
That's how we refer to them. We have 4 32-pound long guns and 16 8-inch chambered shell guns. Maximum range is 1.5 miles. Top deck, we've got bow and stern chasers capable of firing 2.5 to 3.5 miles. So they do the most long-range damage.
So, what did you fire? Did you fire cannonballs out here?
These are cannonballs. Top deck, they're more like giant bolts.
Oh, okay. And this was used to clean the cannon?
Yep, that's the sponge. So that's, you force that down the barrel of the gun and that will clean it. They oftentimes will also even have a simple winding corkscrew at the end of that, and it will grab anything in there from a previous fire and things get pulled out.
Okay.
Next to it's called the rammer, just forces the cannonball and the gunpowder down to the back of the gun.
Lower the person.
Believe it or not, actually a belt right for a sailor like you has quite a wingspan versus somebody like me who does not anticipate that. So here's her section.
Alright, so you're going to talk about how you guys captured the slave ships?
Yeah, so that was our goal from 1859 through 1861 as the flagship of the Africa Squadron. So basically the goal is to sail up and down the west coast of Africa trying to stop slave ships. So as the flagship, we're responsible for a handful of other ships as well. But individually we stopped 3 ships, one in 1859, one in 1860, one in 1861. Only one of them actually had slaves aboard. That was the Corps in 1860. We rescued 705 souls. And all those people we brought to light, period, to protect American territory at that point. As a flagship, they rescued over 3,000 just in those 3 years of our flagship.
Wow.
So this is pre-Civil War, so slavery is not illegal yet, but importation of people is illegal. It has been partially illegal in varying stages since Washington's day, in varying stages, and by the time that we get to the 1850s, they're really starting to figure out how to get around the loopholes, so they're making it stronger rules on that. So that was our responsibility. Constellation is a square rig, so all of our squares are sailed, most of our sails are square, and then we've got a couple of diamonds on either side. But means that she's got 20,000 square feet of sail. She's got roughly 15 miles of line aboard, and that's how she actually moves. So she's the last all-sail warship ever built by the U.S. Navy. Doesn't have an engine, will never get an engine. Not part of our story. So she does rely entirely on her sails, which is why she's got an average crew of 320.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a big crew.
It is. It takes somewhere between 120 and 140 men just to be able to turn the sails, so that way we can actually go a direction that the wind isn't blowing. You need to be able to do that 24 hours a day, so that's the 320 number starting to seem a little bit more plausible. Our helm here is what actually steers the ship. And one of the things that I always think is interesting, that in movies, it's always the captain who stands and steers the ship. The captain has better things to do with his time. Yeah. So it's usually somebody that just is on sort of work. Most of the time you're just sort of standing there, holding place. We're going to go east, so we're going to hold it there for a while. So it's usually just somebody that person on the crew. You'll have a navigator standing next to them, right around where we are, who will tell them, yep, still going east, or we have to change directions because of the wind, or wherever it's trying to get to. But the person who's actually steering it doesn't
And you know, I had no idea that it would be this big.
Yeah.
And because I'm so tall, I'm gonna stand next to it just to give people a point of reference.
You can touch
But
it.
you can
It's
actually, yeah.
great. It spins a little bit.
Oh, and it spins a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's huge. Wow.
Keep in mind, the front of the ship is that way.
Oh, okay. So this is actually the back of the ship.
It is. You steer
So
from
I
the
would
back.
stand on this side. You steer from the back. So would you stand on the other side of the boat?
Yeah, let me get that way. Remember this part in Baltimore? All right.
Wow. This is like
Yeah, but that shot's not as good because the sun's behind you.
Oh, okay.
But the other shot was good.
this is wow. It's from here you really get a perspective of the length of the ship. From here, how far that is. Or no, why not?
So it's typically with time piece, so you bring it every half hour. So it
Oh.
midnight, bring it at 12:30, so on and so forth. Bring it one more time each time, so it's like $1 and then $2 and $3. Just so that way the crew can tell what time it is, because we're mostly a Civil War show, and people don't really care about watches. So that makes sense. You got a quote.
Oh. We do everything in threes.
Libby?
Thank you so much, Libby.
Thank
for giving me a
you.
tour. I'm grateful. I appreciate it. This is a great experience. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Jules Dunham Howie, and my co-host is Damian Campbell, and we're here with Lenora Dawson today. And you know, or do you know, that it has been said that Baltimore is going to be one of only 5 light centers in the whole world in this 21st century. And so, what does that mean for us here in Baltimore?
Well, I think, just my own personal opinion, it can mean a lot of things. It can be an opportunity for people to learn and grow and evolve.
Can I?
You still here, Holmes? You ready? You good with that though?
It's not so bad. Not like it was.
Well, Jules, that's very interesting. I think that Baltimore is going through a transition. And quite often when people are moving and evolving to a higher level of consciousness, we go through shifts. Sometimes you see a lot of unrest because when energy is shifting, we sometimes see people who are very uncomfortable with that shift that happens. And the potential and the idea that Baltimore could be a light center is absolutely great, because being a light center would mean more light comes here, more people are evolved, and more people become evolved and become at a higher level of consciousness and start acting from a space, the heart space, from a place of love and not from a place of trauma. And you know, Baltimore has had its share of trauma in this city.
Indeed.
And we're dealing with it every day. And having worked with children who were victims of trauma, at some point in my career, I saw the devastation with children and with families. And I think one thing Baltimore needs to get going and move forward with is giving and offering more trauma-focused care to folks.
Well, as you know, this is a live tour ship, so it is active. So we see folks coming in and out, but we're on the Constellation. You need to come on too, come and see what's happening. So we appreciate them, and we just want to know that that's why we do this from here, so that you can experience the energy that's here on the Constellation, because it is alive every day. But you know, this trauma issue is really interesting because, you know, as you look at this city, I think that a part of the fact that we've gone through so much trauma as a city, I believe is going to make us ripe for this change and transition to move to a place where we're able to be enlightened, where we're able to attract light, and where we're able to actually move ourselves from a place that is dark to a place that is actually more positive. And I think that that's going to be nothing but good for the city. And my hope, though, is that as that light happens and as we attract it, we don't get annexed.
What I'm feeling is that there's too much negative media out there today. You know, just with kids just feeling rejected and just feeling left out. It's just so much.
Yeah, you know, we are in an age where technology has afforded us access to millions of people at a time. And I think that when we have that access and that technology, along with that comes a big responsibility. And unfortunately, a lot of kids deal with bullying. They deal with feeling worthless and minimized. We also live in a society that perpetuates someone's self-worth with materialism. And children are forced to grow up so young, and they're not allowed to be children anymore. Playing outside in the dirt, and climbing trees, and flying kites. And I will tell you that the Inner Harbor holds such wonderful memories for me, because long before the Inner Harbor was built, it was a big field. And my mom, who didn't drive at the time, she was a housewife. My dad worked at Bethlehem Steel. We would catch the bus. I have 3 brothers, there's 4 of us, and we would get on the bus with our friends, and we would come home. We would come down here on this open field, and we would fly kites. And we would go a little further down the road, and we would go crabbing, and we would come home, and my mom would cook crabs and make crab soup and steamed crabs. And I just have such fond memories of, as a kid, doing that, and ice skating and roller skating and just playing with friends until we were exhausted. And I think that because of technology to a degree, and because of irresponsible media sometimes, that children are affected.
You know, that's interesting, Lenora. To imagine the Inner Harbor as a field.
Yes.
But you hit on a really interesting, a good point, because young people really do need to understand the value of outdoor living and just having a good time doing nothing. And we have become so saturated with TV and with Xbox and Wii and all of that, that we really kids don't know how to play. They don't know how to play. But, you know, I have a 9-year-old, and she knows how to play.
Yeah.
She entertains herself for hours on end because we limit the amount of TV. And so she's like, what am I going to do? I said, you got all them toys. You going to figure it out. And so she will have a conversation in a minute, and we'll be like, oh, she talked to herself and the doll, herself and the whatever it is. And that to me is so healthy.
It is.
It's healthy.
And it's very important. I have a 16-year-old, and for most of his life, we didn't even watch television. I actually have television in the house, and it's never on. Literally, it's never on. We read books. He loves to read. He does play video games with his friends. I don't let him play during the week, because that's devoted to academic. He's over at Polytech High School. Limited time on the weekends, but I make sure that he's spending times being sociable with his friends and engaging, because a lot of kids aren't developing social skills dealing with these electronics. And it's really problematic, because when you get older and you get out into the workforce, you have to be able to communicate with people, and it stifles one's emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And see, we're not having conversations about that, but see, that's that psychology background coming in. So I didn't mean to digress. But
no, but you hit it. To me, you absolutely hit it. And you know, that social piece, we need to go back to the time when you eat dinner as a family.
Yes.
Whatever your family unit is, but you come together, you cut off everything. I actually love that commercial where everything you hit the button and everything stops, right? And they all look like, what are you doing? It's just dinner in 5 minutes. And you come and you sit. And we do that every single night. And the first thing we say to our daughter is, how was your day?
Yes.
Tell me your day. And she has to actually recount her whole day and what she did. And so now she can actually have a conversation with someone.
Absolutely.
Because she's learned how to discourse, how to have conversation. But it's taught, right?
It is taught. And you know, my son and I are the same way in terms of that conversation. How was your day? That's normal for us. We still sit at the table and play chess and Scrabble.
Oh, yeah.
And as a kid, we used to, my mom taught me how to play chess when I was like 9 years old.
Wow.
You know, so Chinese checkers, all those fun things that we played as a family.
Yes.
Which it was about connectedness.
That's right.
And we have to get back to that.
Indeed.
So turn off the television and play a game.
And with that, it is time for us to take another break. We'll be back momentarily.
Welcome back to the Top of the Morning Show. I'm Damian Campbell, and I'm with my co-host Jules Dunham Howie, and we are actually wrapping up our show. It's been a pleasure to actually have you here today on the ship, and
yes,
thank you.
And so we spent this morning talking to Lenora Dawson, and I think we've gotten some wonderful nuggets from Lenora this morning here. We've learned something that probably most people didn't know. She has been in this area flying a kite before the Constellation was even docked here in the Inner Harbor, right? That's something we learned. That's something we learned. So we are grateful for you being with us, Lenora.
Thank you so much for having me. I
You're
appreciate
most
it.
welcome. We wish you well.
Thank you.
And we look forward to having you come back after the election.
Absolutely.
All right? All right. You all take care, and please tune in for Top of the Morning.